Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK back at you with another video here for the 9-game NBA main slate on Wednesday. A couple of things before I get in the video. If you're new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos talking about NBA, NFL, and XFL daily fantasy sports. I'm also running a weekly $20 PayPal giveaway on my channel. How it works, all you have to do is leave a like and a comment in the video. That's one entry in the giveaway. Max one comment per video. So it started with my Thursday NBA video last week. We'll go throughout the week. We'll end on my Monday NBA video at the end of the week. So however many videos I've uploaded for this extended week, you can end the giveaway that many times. So if I have 10 videos uploaded for the week, you can end the giveaway 10 times. And again, the winner receives $20 PayPal for myself. With that out of the way, let's jump in the video. So just talking about last night really quick. Last night was an off night for me, or I guess tonight I should say was an off night for me. Not going to sugarcoat it, right? I'm always open and honest with you guys. Ibaka was terrible. He was one of my favorite plays of the day, if not, well, yeah, one of my favorite, if not my favorite play of the day there at that price. And he just absolutely was, I mean, how many minutes did he play? 'Cause again, I was at the Bulls game, so I didn't really get to see, but only 11 fantasy points. Like, I don't think he was in foul trouble. He played 29 minutes, and for him to play basically 30 minutes. He shot about 2 of 15. Still, that is, again, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, terrible. Gafford was super frustrating, and I was at the game itself. He could just not keep his hands to himself. He picked up 2 quick fouls in the first quarter, and then a quick one in the second quarter. Did not see any other action until the third quarter, when for some reason they started Felicio over him. In his 14 minutes that he actually played, he had 13 fantasy points. So if he gets his 25 minutes that he should have got, he probably would have got about 25 fantasy points. But again, that happens sometimes in DFS. Anthony Davis is off to a great start. I mean, obviously he was a pretty popular play, and then Giannis as well. But yeah, I think that really does it for the look back there on Tuesday slate. Again, pretty frustrating. Ibaka was a huge letdown. Gafford in some foul trouble as well. So sorry about that, guys. Again, sorry about not being able to live stream too. Again, I was at the Bulls game, but I will be able to live stream for this 9-game slate. So let's talk about it. Let's look at some over-unders and spreads really quick. We have the Nets Wizards staying at 235, right? 235 over-under. The Nets are 1.5-point favorites. 76ers Cavs 220 over-under. The 76ers 7.5-point favorites. The Mavs Spurs are still waiting an over-under there. Same thing with the Timberwolves and the Heat. Magic Hawks staying at 227. The Hawks are 2.5-point, or the Magic, I should say, are 2.5-point favorites, and then we're still waiting on the Grizzlies, Rockets. Well, the Rockets are 10.5-point favorites. We're still waiting over/under there, and then Celtics, Jazz, we're still waiting on as well. Let's start at center as always, though. Joel Embiid at 10.5 against Cleveland. Obviously, still no Ben Simmons. He's going to be out for a while, indefinitely. They said. Joel Embiid is viable, but now, the price hike of 10.5K, he's no longer the great play that he was the other night, right? So I think Embiid is in play as a spend up, but I'll talk about a couple other spend ups I prefer. Like, I think I prefer Luka Doncic at a similar price. I think I prefer some other guys, maybe a little bit cheaper than Embiid. So not saying Embiid's a bad play at all. I think he can still get you at that price. He's just no longer like my top play of the night like he was a couple nights ago. Vucevic, a really good match against Atlanta. It's just the issue is 9.5K, right? I think he's a pretty safe option. I don't think he's going to kill you. He's a guy that can get a little bit of upside. He can get up 50 plus. So I think he's definitely fine as well, but I'm not overly excited about it. Bam, I believe he's good to go. He's 9K. We have the possibility of Jimmy Butler coming back, which is somewhat significant, right? Jimmy Butler is a pretty high usage guy, so we got to keep an eye on that with the status of Jimmy. Randall, I don't think I'm going to get to him at that price at 8.4. Porzingis actually do have some interest at 8.3. I think I'd prefer getting to Luka, though, for an extra couple of thousand in the same team. But I still think Porzingis is viable, who has flashed some upside here, even with Luka Doncic being active. I'm not going to get to Gobert. DeAndre Ayton at 8.1 does intrigue me. He was in some severe foul trouble there against Utah. That's why he only played 21 minutes. And now the price came down all the way to 8.1. So, and the Clippers, their weakness is their front court. I do have a little bit of interest in DeAndre Ayton here at this price. Drummond's price came down to 7.7. I still don't know if I can do it. It's just the minutes right now for these Cleveland guys they're so hard to predict. Now Aldridge, this is big news. This is like slate change news. Him being out. Jakob Poeltl is going to become one of the top value plays on the slate. Makes some other Spurs guys more viable. Makes DeMar DeRozan obviously a good play. So Yeah, we'll talk about some other Spurs guys here in a bit. Jonas Valanciunas. I mean, we have no Jaren Jackson, and no Brandon Clark. We know what Houston does. They love running small ball. They don't really have a center on the roster, and that just worries me with Jonas Valanciunas in his minutes. I have no idea. I think he could play. I think there's a shot he could play honestly under 20 minutes in this one, or they just try to play bully ball and play him 30 minutes or so. I don't know. So it's just more of just a GPP play. Definitely can't go there for cash. Rui 5.9. I'll pass there. I don't think I get to Nance either. Again, no Jaren Jackson, no Brandon Clark. Montrezl Harrell 5.8 with Paul George coming back. I don't know if I get to him. He had a really good shooting night, 9 of 11. Only played 20 minutes though, 29 fancy points. It's just, when they're a fully healthy team, the Clippers, it makes it hard for me to get to any of those guys. Let's see. I think, Jarrett Allen and DeAndre Jordan are always viable. They seem to go on, hot streaks and cold streaks. Again, they're going to ride at the hot hand there with one of those two centers. So either are viable. Only for GPPs, though. Gorgie Jang did play 28 minutes the last game. I believe he played a little bit alongside Jonas Valanciunas as well. It's just, 5.2. I don't think I can pay 5.2K for him. Again, there's, maybe Memphis matches Houston small ball, and they run, Josh Jackson to the 5 or something. So that's always a concern there. I don't think I get to PJ Washington or Tice or Horford. Kelly Olynyk's too pricey. I'm not going to get to Kleber at that price. Mo Wagner I do have some interest in at 4.5. I'll play 28 minutes the last game. Do we have? Oh, let me go. Is Thomas Bryant? Oh, he is back. So that actually does. Hold on. I actually don't. Is Bertans available too? Bertans is questionable. So if he misses, that would be some more minutes for Mo Wagner. So I think I only get to Mo if Bertans is not available to play. Other than that, Deadman at 4.3. His minutes have been down recently. I mean, he has been in foul trouble. He's been in foul trouble basically every single game. If he can stay out of foul trouble, he can have a pretty solid day at this price. It's just, it's kind of he's in that Naz Reid territory of guys just can't keep his hands to himself. But, you are getting him at a pretty cheap price. So I do have a little bit interested in Deadman there. Other options, let's see, Jakob Poeltl. So he's probably my favorite value play of the day right now, 3.2K. I'd assume he starts. I think if he does start, he probably gets at least 20 minutes. He's a pretty productive guy when he gets the time. So I love Jakob Poeltl. He's my favorite value play right now of the day. But that basically does it for center. Let's move on to power forward. The Boston guys, even with Kemba most likely out against Utah, it's probably a pass for me. 8.8K. I think I like some other spot ups a little bit more. I'm not going to get to John Collins there in a tougher spot. Aaron Gordon, this is tricky because, he has just been amazing, but the price is coming up. But you get him in one of the best possible spots. And again, 37, 43, 35, 41 minutes. The minutes have been amazing for him. The matchup's great. I know the price is up, but I still have some interest in Aaron Gordon there at that price. I like him a good amount. Tobias is 7.5. The price came up a little bit after that big game. Still no Ben Simmons, so he is obviously still viable. It's just, I don't really think he stands out as an amazing play there. Again, I don't know if I get to Hayward. It is a revenge spot, so if you're a guy that's big into revenge narratives, you can always go to him. So we saw Ricky Rubio in a bad spot there against Utah have a big game for a revenge narrative. Kevin Love had a pretty solid game. Actually, he played 38 minutes. Now, Cleveland ran Larry Nance a bit at the 3, which is really, they're in Nance at the 3, Love at the 4, and Tristan Thompson at the 5. Against Philly, I don't know. I still don't feel confident targeting any of these Cleveland guys. Kelly Oubre is out with a knee injury, so that is pretty significant news because that's going to open up some value here for guys like Dario Saric, guys like Cameron Johnson. He's not like a super, super high usage guy, but he is a guy that can take over games. And, there is a lot of minutes. He was playing big minutes, so those minutes have to go somewhere. So that's what we'll talk about some Phoenix value guys here in a bit. Let's see. Other options here. Not a whole lot I'm super excited about in this range. Yeah, really not. Oh, Josh Jackson here, 4.5. So he was my favorite Memphis value play the other night. He had 26 minutes, 26 fantasy points. They used him as a starter in the second half when Brandon Clark went down. So I think there's a chance they could run him as a starter. I think there's a chance they could even run him as a small ball 5 and maybe match Houston. So I think Josh Jackson, even at this price, is a viable cheap option. Bobby Portis has been getting more minutes recently, 28 and 25 last 2 games, which is really good to see. If we're going to continue to get Bobby Portis over 20 minutes, I think he is a playable cheap option there. Jordan Bell 3.4 did get dusted off for 15 minutes. Again, that was a super blowout though, so I don't think we can expect him to be in the regular rotation. Rudy Gay is a candidate for a guy that could get some more minutes with no LaMarcus Aldridge. I think we probably get about 20 or so minutes, so he is another punt play. Again, I think I feel more confident though with Jakob Poeltl. So a guy like Cameron Johnson, he's at 3.3. Not a super high usage guy, but I think there's a decent chance he starts, or Dario Saric. Whoever probably starts, I have the most interest in for that Phoenix value play. Both guys, though, I think would be in play just because, again, Kelly Oubre was playing big minutes. Those minutes have to go somewhere. All right, that basically does it for power forward. Let's move on to small forward. Kawhi at the top. With everyone healthy here for the Clippers, it makes it tricky. It really does. He is under 10K, but he's healthy. Paul George is healthy. Montrez, Lou Williams. They have Marcus Morris. They have Pat Beverly healthy. They have Reggie. They just have a lot of mouths to feed. So I don't know if I'm going to get to Kawhi at that price. I think I would much prefer getting to Luka Doncic. Brad Beal, I like a good amount here at 9.7. I like this game as part of a game stack. You could run Brad Beal, Spencer Dinwiddie, Karis LeVert. I think that's a really solid way to go about the slate for GPPs. Even for cash games, I have some interest in a really good matchup. So, yeah, I have a good amount of interest in that game again, especially the guards with Beal, Dinwiddie, and LeVert. Let's talk about Dinwiddie and LeVert here in a bit. Well, let's talk about LeVert right now, actually. And Paul George at 8K. Again, I only played 21 minutes because of the blowout. If I was going to play one of the big guys here in the Clippers, I think it would be Paul George over Kawhi Leonard just for the savings. Now, Karis LeVert, even at this price, I have a good amount of interest in. He's playing huge minutes. He's shooting the ball a ton, and this is one of the best possible matchups. So him, Dinwiddie, Bradley Beal, I think you can make a nice little game stack out of that if you want to. Now, DeRozan is a guy that I think really stands out as well. Only played 23 minutes due to a blowout. Would not be concerned about that. No LaMarcus Aldridge. He is a guy that's going to have to do a lot more offensively. So he is one of the top plays. I think he's a really solid cash game play. The concern here is just, there's a chance Dallas could blow him out. But, if this game stays close, we're probably going to see a big game for DeRozan. So DeRozan is also one of my favorite plays. I think he's going to be one of the most popular plays for cash games, but for good reason. Let's see, other options here. Not super excited about a lot in this price range, to be honest. Like Marcus Morris is 5K. I still don't feel great about that. Dylan Brooks at 4.7 is very score independent. He has just been shooting the ball terribly. If you want to buy low, I guess I don't hate it, but not going to feel great about that. Garrett Temple, I believe, had a pretty solid game. 28 minutes, 32 fantasy. He's had back-to-back 30-plus fantasy point games. It's a good matchup. He's fine. I don't think he continues this level of production, but I think he is in play as a value option. Let's see. Eric Gordon is questionable. That is somewhat significant. If he misses, those secondary pieces, guys like House, maybe Covington pick up a couple more minutes. I think that really does it, though, for small forward. Let's move on to shooting guard. Hard in the top at 11.3 is always definitely in play here. It's just, do you think Memphis keeps it close? I'm a little bit worried this game turns into a blowout. Memphis kind of shorthanded, right? No Triple J, no Brandon Clark. So that's the risk right now with this game. Again, if you feel confident Memphis keeps it close, you could definitely go to Harden or Westbrook. Just don't know if I'm going to go there personally on the slate. Jimmy Butler is questionable. This is pretty big news. If he can't go, would make some of those secondary pieces in Miami a little bit more viable. Guys like Kendrick Nunn, guys like Goran Dragic, Kelly O's played some more minutes. Same with Jay Crowder. So got to keep an eye on that for Jimmy Butler for sure. Dinwiddie, I like a good amount even at this price. I just love the matchup. Yeah, I'm really high in Dinwiddie. I'm really high in LeVert. I like Bradley Beal on the opposite side. I think you could make a nice little game stack out of that. Devin Booker at 7.9. I think, if the Clippers, or I should say the Suns, are going to stay in this game, we're probably going to see a big game from Booker. So both Booker and Aiden are underpriced, and there's no Kelly Oubre. So they do stand out. It's just, another situation. Are you confident Phoenix can keep this game close? If the answer is yes, we're probably going to see a big game from at least one of either of Booker or DeAndre Ayton. Yeah, I think both these guys are in play, and they both have upside, especially with no Kelly Oubre. Other options here. Let's see. I'm just not super excited about this Boston Utah game. Kendrick Nunn, Goran Dragic, those guys can become more viable if Jimmy Butler can't go. If Jimmy Butler plays, I would have no interest in those guys. Let's see. RJ Barrett, I believe, had a pretty solid game last time out. Yeah, 34 minutes, 33 fantasy points. 6K, though, I'll pass. Don't think I get to Fournier either. Like, I would prefer just getting to Aaron Gordon for the Magic, or maybe Vucevic. Malik Beasley at 5.9 is the number 2 in the offense. He's going to play about 35 or so minutes. I think he's a pretty solid mid-tier play. Let's see. Terry Rozier at that price with Devontae Graham coming back. Don't know if I get to him. Terry Rozier's been really bad recently. Josh Richardson at 5.2 is okay. I mean, he's going to play big minutes. So I think he is viable, a viable punt option there. These like San Antonio guards like Derek White, Patty Mills, Bryn Forbes are now very much in play with no LaMarcus Aldridge. I know they don't play the same position, but there's just a lot of usage to go around. I think my top or my cash game plays for the Spurs right now would be Jakob Poeltl and DeMar DeRozan. I think those guys can be the chalk. I'll be playing them most likely tomorrow, unless some things change. These secondary Memphis pieces are viable. Melton, Tyus Jones. It's just, they have so many guys they can use. That is a concern. But, one of those guys probably could have a big game there against Houston. A guy like Lonnie Walker, we've seen him pick up some starts before. If he picks up the start for Aldridge, I think I would have. Well, no, they're not going to start him for Aldridge. I should say he started for DeRozan, I believe, in the past. They're most likely going to start Jakob Poeltl, would be my best guess. But Lonnie Walker could get some more run. Wouldn't feel great about that though. Again, I think it's Jakob Poeltl. I think it's DeMar DeRozan are the guys I have the most interest in. All right, let's talk about point guard here. Again, Harden, Westbrook, I'm fine with them. It's a really good matchup. It's just, I'm a little bit worried about the blowout. Trae Young at 10.4, not necessarily the best matchup, but he's matchup proof. I always have interest in Trae Young. More of a GPP play, though. Luka Doncic is one of my favorite spot ups here. 10.3K is way too cheap. If you played him the other night, like myself, you got really unlucky. Did not see any fourth quarter run. He was playing great. 25 minutes at 46 fantasy points. Almost 2 fantasy points per minute for that game, and just did not see any fourth quarter run. I was super tilted about that. But yeah, now he's almost under 10K in a good matchup. I love Luka. The only concern is, again, this game, there is a little bit of blow risk. There's no Aldridge. Russell's always viable for GPPs. He's kind of in the same territory of Trae Young. Let's see. Alfred Payton coming back, so that takes DSJ out of play. Rubio, he had a really good night the other night. 62 he had? Wow, I did not know he had that much. 22, 11, 6, and 7 steals. So, looks like Ricky Rubio is now back. I don't know. He had a long stretch if he was just playing terrible, but he's playing pretty solid now. Again, no Kelly Oubre. I'm okay with Rubio. Dragic, none. Those are the only guys I'm interested in if Jimmy Butler can't go. DeJounte Murray at 5.9. He's going to have to do more offensively. He had a terrible game last time out. 21 minutes, 0 of 7. But we've seen the upside games. The previous 3 games from him, 37, 42, and 45. Again, no Aldridge. So that's more usage to go around. I have some interest in Murray. Again, my cash game plays, though, would probably be DeRozan, would be Jakob Poeltl there for the Spurs. Other than that, Conley was a huge disappointment. It was in foul trouble. Only played 22 minutes out of nowhere, kind of. He had played 30 plus the last 4 or 5 games and comes out and plays 22 minutes. So minutes are not locked in. I'm not going to go there. Again, these San Antonio guys like Mills, Forbes, Derek White, they're all in play as really, really cheap options. But I think that's going to do it for today's video, guys. So if you have been enjoying the content, would really appreciate it if you'd like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Again, I'm going to be live streaming before this slate, 45 minutes before lock, so be sure to check out the live stream. I will go over all the injury news we get throughout the day. I will answer any questions you guys have, and I'll kind of give you my core cash game plays for the night. So thanks again for everyone to come and check the video. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you guys all tomorrow in the live stream.